Hey folks, it's Jared Mannanen from the website TahoeTrailGuide.com. Lake Tahoe received a couple of inches of new snow last night and this morning, so I decided I'd make the most of it. But in many places it's just a slight upgrade from dust on crust. There's a lot of crunchy stuff underneath, so it's kind of a lot like combat skiing today, although as I travel higher up into the mountains, the snow is getting more favorable and the area is less tracked out. You know, the higher you climb, the less people go there, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go uphill. I also realized that today presented itself with a nice teaching opportunity or learning opportunity. Basically, that teachable moment revolves around negotiating variable terrain in the backcountry and specifically dealing with little humps of snow, such as you'd find covering the root of a tree or a downed log or a big thick branch that's laying on the ground. There's a little trick to dealing with that efficiently so you're not slipping and sliding and tripping all over them. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, fumbling around like this, but I do see people often make these mistakes where they're standing near the edge of a trail, for example, and there's just a little bit of a snow mound on the side of the trail, and they'll accidentally let their tip or tail, which happen to be the glide zones, make contact with that little rise in snow, and then that causes the grip zone to come off of the snow, leading to that slipping and sometimes falling down. The secret to dealing with this little variation in snow conditions, whether it be on a micro level or a macro level, is setting that grip zone. As you can see in some of these demonstrations, I'm actually pole vaulting myself with my ski poles onto that hump of snow so that I land directly on the grip zone instead of either the tip or tail where it's slippery. And then I can maneuver my way around this obstacle while being on top of it on my grip zone. On most of these examples, I'm showing you a slightly larger hump of snow than what I originally was talking about, but I just want to show this idea on a bigger scale because there is that whole aspect of terrain management. Again, whether you're just diagonal striding on a packed out trail, you may end up with much smaller little bumps of snow that seek to trip you up, so you have to be conscious of where you're landing that grip zone. But with these broader examples with this slightly larger hump, you can really see what I'm trying to accomplish here and what I recommend you start to implement into your cross-country ski practice. And all this really entails is setting the grip zone like you would any other time you are performing classic technique or diagonal striding. If we can't set the grip zone, we're never really going to be able to push off effectively, and we're always going to be slipping back. And this is just something that occurs a lot in the backcountry because the terrain is so variable, and you end up with all these natural obstacles that are now covered in snow. And on a day like today where it's really flat light, it's hard to see those variations in terrain. So you just have to be really conscious of managing your skis. And again, knowing exactly where that grip zone is in relation to the glide zones. In that last example, you could see that I sort of was able to get on top of that big mound of snow by pole vaulting myself onto it, but even that technique isn't really very helpful on something this tall. Rather, just treat this as what it is and call it a hill, and then herringbone or sidestep up the hill. As you become a more proficient cross-country skier, you'll develop your own style for negotiating variable terrain. But I can't emphasize enough the importance of setting that grip zone pretty much everywhere you go, whether you're doing actual technique or you're just trying to make your way through a dense little forest with all kinds of bumps and humps of snow that are challenging to walk over. Okay, folks, that's about all I have today. Just a short little silent ski tour with a mini lesson mixed in for fun. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or feedback, post it in the comment section below. Then check out TahoeTrailGuide.com. If you feel compelled to contribute in a financial way to the health and longevity of this YouTube channel as well as Tahoe Trail Guide, I offer 3 different options. You can subscribe to my Patreon account, or you can send one-time payments, tips, gratuities to PayPal or Venmo. So I just want to say thanks so much for all of my Patreon subscribers and everyone else who's tipped through PayPal and Venmo. I totally appreciate it. You guys are the best. Really means a lot to me to be able to continue to do this, produce these videos, both entertaining and educational for you guys. So for that, I am grateful. Thank you very much, and take care, everyone.